Hello and welcome into the Knicks-Verse. My name is George, and if this is your first time here, or you've been here before but have not subscribed yet, please do so, along with hitting that thumbs up button for me and dropping your comments. Definitely want to hear your thoughts and feelings about this video especially. This video is going to focus on the Knicks and the minutes load. There's been a lot of discussion out there. There are people on both sides, and there's people in the middle. I have created a chart that will clearly show the correlation between the heavy minutes load on the starters and the shooting efficiency, or inefficiency, should I say, that has actually developed lately. The Knicks were once the best three-point shooting team in the NBA, and currently they are the worst. That's right, and there is a clear correlation, and I have a great chart to show you to explain all that. I tried to do it in last night's post-game recap. Didn't quite have all the information laid out in the proper fashion. I have it here for you tonight. Let's get to it. First, I want to focus on this Tommy Beer tweet. You're going to find a lot of Tommy Beer information on here. Amazing writer, analyst. We're lucky to have him on the Knicks, covering the Knicks. So we're going to talk about that a lot because we're on the same page in terms of the minutes issues. He tweeted this out a couple of days ago. Mikal Bridges has played 1,451 minutes this season. He is the first player in a decade to log more than 1,450 minutes over the first 37 games of an NBA season. He followed that up with the last player to log more than 1,480 minutes over a team's first 37 games was Bulls forward Luol Deng in 2012-2013. Chicago's head coach that season, Tom Thibodeau. So, THIBS has done this before, and we were warned by Bulls fans. This is the way Thibodeau does it. He comes in, he burns his players out. They start off strong, and then they taper towards the end. Well, we have had the luck of having a Tom Thibodeau who has evolved somewhat from that. He definitely did make a major move 2 years ago with his starting lineup, with his 9-man rotation. He's had a 10-man rotation at times for an extended period of time. Right now, we're down to an 8-man rotation, but really it's come down to just 6 players that really significantly play when you include Miles Deuce McBride. So it's really the 5 starters and Miles Deuce McBride that really get the majority of the minutes. So let's keep going here, because then there was something interesting here that Kristian Winfield from the Daily News, he wrote an excellent article discussing last night's game. He tweeted this out. We kind of already know Thibs is one of them coaches that plays his players until the buzzer ends. That's a quote. From an Orlando Magic player. Orlando Magic players knew the Knicks would not extend their rotation last night. They are the latest team to take advantage of New York's thin bench. Now, I have a bit of that from that article. Quote, we kind of already know Thibs is one of them coaches that plays his players until the buzzer ends. 12-year veteran Kentavious Caldwell-Pope told the News. We kind of know that from previous coaching, other teams, stuff like that. Those, quote, those dudes play hard, added Orlando's defensive irritant Anthony Black. Honestly, they play a lot of minutes. Yeah, other teams know that, of course. So, what do they mean by that? Well, they know that if they can just play these Knicks tough for at least 3 quarters, they know that by the 4th quarter, there will be nothing left in the tank. And that's exactly what has happened in the last 3 games for the Knicks. And we saw that happening earlier on in the season, before the Knicks started playing much weaker competition. Remember, that December schedule was incredibly kind to the New York Knicks. They had the easiest strength of schedule of the Eastern Conference, and now they are facing the most difficult strength of schedule of the entire NBA. So this is going to be a tough month, which is why I was banging that drum weeks and weeks and weeks ago. We are burning our starters out. Why are our starters in when we have a 25-point lead, 20-point lead, 18-point lead with 4 minutes left? Why are our starters still in this game? Well, now we're starting to see the issues with it. Further on in this article, Black and Caldwell-Pope predicted Thibodeau's lineups would not change. The blueprint for success against these reeling Knicks is clear. They rely heavily on their starters and don't stretch far into the rotation. If you're willing to use 10 or more players, and if you're willing to do the dirty work on defense, you can wear the Knicks down in the first half. They run them out of the building in the second. That is the strategy of other teams now. So if that's the strategy and it's working, then wouldn't it be prudent to change that strategy? Wouldn't it be prudent to adjust, especially now when we're starting to see players go down, like Towns, Deuce is out. I mean, Brunson, man, I don't understand how he's still playing through all this. He even got scratched in the eye last night. So this is a lot to be concerned about at the moment. Let's get to this next chart. This is going to clarify a lot for everybody. All right, so what I did, I broke it down into 4 sections. The bottom row, here, I got a little pointer here. The bottom row down here, this bottom row is the games played. I don't know why this thing got so this is the first 15 games over here on the left, right here, first 15 games. Then it's games 16 to 22, 23 to 29, and 30 to 37, and this includes last night's game. So this is to show you the progression. The green line is the New York Knicks field goal percentage for the entire team. The orange line is the opponent's field goal percentage for the entire team. Now, that is one of the things that THIBS cares about the most. He calls it defensive field goal percentage. So I'm calling it opponent field goal percentage here, but it's the same exact thing. He cares the most about this stat line right here. Then you have the gray line, which is the Knicks 3-point field goal percentage. Then the red line is the opponent 3-point field goal percentage. Get ready. Now, the blue is the minutes. Obviously, this is the minutes line right here. Boom, boom, boom. This is the minutes. So the minutes it has a percentage there. It shouldn't have a percentage there. It's 30. In the first 15 games, the Knicks averaged 35.8 minutes per game. And that continued all the way through the end of the 22nd game. The Knicks starters. This is the starters' minutes only. All the other stats are the entire team. So I broke it out from the starters to show the correlation here. Almost 36 minutes a game for the starters. And then games 23 to 29, it went up. Actually went down a tick to 35.6 minutes per game. And now we are in the last 8 games, we are averaging 38.3 minutes per game for the starters alone. So it's ticked up. The thing to note here, the drastic change here, is the gray line. This is the 3-point shooting right here. In the first 15 games, 39.5%, where the Knicks were in the top 3 in 3-point shooting in the NBA. Then it ticked up to 41.4%, and they were number 1 in the NBA then. Since the 22nd game of the NBA, the Knicks have drifted way down, and they are now a league worst 29.4% is what they're shooting. So as the minutes went up, look at this slope go down right here. This is the starkest difference. This is why I created this chart, to show you guys this right here. And the same goes for the opponent 3-point percentage, because it's also crucial to show it's really not only on the offensive side that this hurts us. It's really on the defensive side that it actually ultimately hurts us, because the Knicks, in terms of their overall field goal percentage, didn't really change as much. They started at 50.5. They dipped down to 48.5. And because they weren't shooting many threes in the beginning, and then they finally started shooting more threes, and your overall shooting percentage is going to go down the more threes you shoot, but their efficiency was tremendous. So 48.5% overall, ticked up to almost back up to 50%. Now it's ticked down to 49%, but not that much variance throughout the period here. Now that's just shot distribution, and the Knicks have been taking less 3-pointers of late, and you can see why. They have lost confidence in them. Dead legs. Dead legs is why this is happening. So, dead legs also hurts you on the offensive end, on the defensive end. Trying to get out to those, out to the perimeter to stop those shooters, to stop them getting clean looks. Here is the red line. This is the opponent's 3-point field goal percentage. It started out at 36.4%, dipped down to 35.7%. Then it went up to 37.7% around between games 23 and 29. And lately, in the last 8 games, it's gone up to 39%, the highest all season that opponents are shooting the three against us. That makes it harder for us to actually pull off comebacks, and actually makes it harder for us to hold on to leads when we're not hitting three-pointers and the other opponents have fresher legs, especially later in the game, and they start hitting those threes, which is what we saw last night against the Orlando Magic. We saw it against the Chicago Bulls, and we saw it against the Oklahoma City Thunder. So it's not a matter of too many threes. It's a matter of too many minutes. The Knicks are being played, the starters especially, are being, I think they're being exhausted. They're fatigued. We heard last night in the post-game interviews, low energy. Well, I think it's fatigue is what it is. They tried to come out and try to do what they could do on the court, guys like Josh Hart and everything, but when you are tired, your decision making isn't as crisp. Your shot making obviously isn't as crisp. Your ability to close out hard on shooters isn't as potent as it should be. There it is. It's right there to show you. Now let's get to this. More Tommy Beer, because he beautifully sums this up. And this is actually one of the main reasons why I put this video together, to show you that chart and to show you this here. Tommy tweeted out a couple days ago, most minutes played in the NBA this season. Number 1, Mikal Bridges. Number 2, Josh Hart. Number 3, OG Anunoby. Number 4 is De'Aaron Fox. Number 5, Tyrese Halliburton. Number 6, Anthony Edwards. And number 7, Jalen Brunson. So of the top 7 players with the most minutes played, 4 of them are Knicks. And then when you look at Karl-Anthony Towns, and Karl-Anthony Towns has played more minutes than any center in the NBA this season. 12th most among all players. Most minutes by centers. Karl-Anthony Towns, 1,176. Jokic, 1,150. And Domantas Sabonis, 1,140. So there you go. The Knicks starters are carrying the load. They're playing the most minutes of any starters by a large margin of anyone in the NBA, and their bench, obviously inversely, are playing the lowest amount of minutes of anyone in the NBA. Then, this is the tweet that sums it all for me. Thank you, Tommy, for putting this out. The folks that scream minutes police at anyone who critiques THIBS or suggests the Knicks expand their rotation often miss the point and don't see the bigger picture. No sane person is suggesting New York will win 70 games if they play Kolek and or Hawkporty, etc. In fact, the Knicks will likely win fewer regular season games if they play 10 guys a night, and that's okay. That's the sacrifice you live with. The Knicks team, if the first Knicks team this Knicks team is the first Knicks team in 3 decades that is talented enough to win an NBA championship. I 100% agree with this. We have not had a team this talented since, in my opinion, since that Sprewell, Allen Houston team in '99, the team that went to the finals. We have not had a team this talented since then. And make no mistake, that's the goal, is to win a championship. In order to achieve that goal, the Knicks need their 6 best players healthy in April, May, and June. In my opinion, they are more likely to be healthy in the postseason if they are not forced to overextend themselves in the regular season. Beautifully said. Mic drop for Tommy Beer. Beautifully done. Oh, man. Wait, let's just go back to this. Just see it again. Let's look at this beautiful thing again. Look at this thing. Look at this. 29.4% is what the Knicks are shooting from the three-point line right now. You can't win in the NBA shooting that. And that is purely attributed to dead legs. Dead legs. THIBS, work in your bench. Turn to Pacome Dadier. The man's got perfect size for this NBA. He can shoot the 3. He's not a defensive liability. Right now you're going with guys like Precious. Precious is killing us. He, in terms of on-off numbers, he's terrible. Cam Payne has been shooting terribly of late, in the low 30s and high 20s. Yes, and we're missing Deuce McBride, so we need to get a punch from somewhere else. I like that you gave Landry Shamet some time, but he needs more time. He needs more shots. 3 shots for a shooter is not enough. How about Ariel Hockporty? He can give you some dynamic center play, some block shots, maybe turns into fast breaks, easier buckets on the other end. And we know he loves to dunk that shit. And look, Sims is struggling with that right now. He looks a little bit lost. He played well defensively. Not going to critique that. But him with Precious Achiuwa on the court together was a total disaster. All right. That's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I look forward to hearing your comments about this. And the Knicks play tomorrow night against the Toronto Raptors. It's the return of RJ and IQ to I think they're actually going to play tomorrow, so it should be a fascinating game. Hopefully, Karl-Anthony Towns will be ready to play. And let's see, maybe Miles Deuce-McBride will be as well. There was a little bit of a hint in some of the reports that I read that they might be ready to go. So we'll see. They are listed as questionable, however. All right, thank you so much for watching this. Again, drop your comments, hit the thumbs up button for me, share this video if you can, and I will see you around the Knicks-Verse.